I just bought my first ever car from an insurance auction. This is a 2014 Audi S5 that I got with a winning bid of just $3,100. This is an incredibly cool, sporty sedan with a supercharged V6 engine that can make a ton of power, and it's mated to a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission that shifts incredibly quick. I'm so excited to own this car, and I couldn't pass it up for just $3,100. In today's video, we're going to uncover some very serious engine issues and figure out why this thing will not run and drive. It's going to be an incredibly easy, fun, and enjoyable project for me, but the problem started, unfortunately, as soon as this car got delivered and the front bumper got completely destroyed as it was coming off of the trailer. Now, as you can see in the auction photos, the front bumper was already hanging off of the car, but by the time it made it off the trailer, the front bumper was completely twisted and cracked, and unfortunately, this is going to need to be replaced, so we'll add it to the list of projects for my new S5. This thing looks super cool, but there are obviously some major concerns. I don't know if it runs. I don't want to try and start it. I don't know if it has oil in it. Looks like a track car. Look at this interior. Woohoo! DSG transmission, flat bottom steering wheel. This thing looks amazing. I'm very much experiencing mixed feelings because this car is absolutely sick and I bought it for an insane deal, but it's in worse state than I expected, and the tow truck driver just kind of destroyed it, dumped it here, and said, "Good luck, pal." Oh my God, what did I get myself into? Now, I'm gonna be honest, I really have no idea what's wrong with this car. It doesn't start. It obviously had some kind of an accident, and it was a damn good deal. So I'm excited to dig into this thing today, see what we have going on, and see if this thing is savable. For $3,100, this is a pretty killer deal if we can get this thing running and driving, and it has the incredible, maybe my favorite engine of all time, a supercharged V6. Incredible supercharger noises, makes a ton of power. The wheels, they gotta go. These things are hideous, they're curb rashed. Something that is an upgrade, I believe, is these Audi Sport 6-piston calipers and massive brake rotors up front. It also looks like we've got some extra upgrades. This is not a factory intercooler. It did take a little hit here at the bottom, but this might be usable still. We've got a Eurocode intake. There's also some kind of Eurocode sandwich plate here with a vacuum line coming off of it. Oh, it looks like it goes into the cabin here, so maybe that's for a boost gauge. It is definitely sitting lower, so the suspension is modified. My favorite part about this car is the interior. I think this is where car interiors peaked. Everything is buttons. You have a small screen that's not a touch screen. It's all button controlled. And of course, this car is a DSG transmission, which I'm super excited to experience. The steering wheel is gorgeous. I'm freaking stoked on this car, man. Now, this is all great. We can get a new bumper and rebuild that front end, but I have no idea about the condition of this motor, especially since this engine does not start. So I say we get it up on some jack stands, look at the damage a little further, and try to start this thing. If you're anything like me and you spend a lot of time in your garage working on your project cars, you're probably used to eating a bunch of fast food and neglecting the things that your body actually needs, which is why I want to talk about today's sponsor, which is AG1. AG1 is a clinically backed daily health drink that combines all your multivitamins, pre and probiotics, daily superfoods, and antioxidants into one incredibly easy and delicious scoop. For me, car projects usually mean long hours in the garage, and it can be very easy to neglect what's important for your body. This has really become part of my ritual. I have it every single morning, and it's helped me so much with my productivity and overall the way that I feel as I go throughout the day. Making AG1 is incredibly easy. I love their travel packs, which are single serving packets. You pour it into a bottle, mix it with 8 or 16 ounces of water, shake it up, and that's it. This stuff tastes delicious, and it comes in a bunch of different flavors. Go to drinkag1.com/Wheelem and you'll get a free welcome kit when you first sign up, which includes a bottle of vitamin D and free travel pouches. A massive thank you to AG1 for supporting the channel. So the listing for this car said mechanical issues, and it does not start. Also hood prop issues, apparently, because this thing will not hold, so that's a good hood prop for now. Please don't fall on me. Looking under here, there's a couple big red flags right off the bat. The first red flag that I see is that this car is low on coolant. That's no good. I don't really see a coolant leak, but I haven't pulled any under trays off, so maybe we should do that first. If the coolant didn't leak out though, that would be a big problem because that means it's probably in the engine. I don't see any milkshake on there, which means hopefully the head gasket's in decent shape. It's at least not leaking into the oil. Look at that. This whole front end here is loose. These bolts are loose. So somebody worked on this thing recently and maybe just kind of slapped it back together for the auction. It does look like there's a new serpentine belt, which is great. Maybe before we start it, I'm gonna pull off all the under trays and just check for any damage there. All right, oil pan's intact. I'm happy to see that. This person loved Eurocode. They got a Eurocode sway bar. A lot of loose stuff here. Somebody had this thing apart, which is concerning to say the least. Oh yeah, look at that. This has an upgraded brace on here. This thing is sweet. Surprisingly, completely stock exhaust though. Pulling off the under trays has revealed quite a lot. We have a Eurocode sway bar under here, Eurocode end links in the suspension, Eurocode lowering springs. Oh no, those are H&R. There's a Eurocode chassis brace and a lot of oil leaks under here. It is very much caked in, probably valve covers. There are some upgraded transmission mounts, it looks like. Thankfully, we have stock catalytic converters. And most importantly, the oil pan's intact. It seems like this car had a small hit on this corner, and I was worried that maybe the oil pan got hit in the process, but that doesn't appear to be the case. I think those are all good signs. I typically prefer an enthusiast-owned car, a car that's a little bit modified, because you know that somebody cared for this thing. Somebody cared enough to put all these mods and all that money into it, which means they probably also did some maintenance throughout the car's life. That is always excellent. I think at this point we try and just check the oil on it, and I don't see why we shouldn't try and start it at that point. So let me get a dipstick and see if there's any oil in this thing. These cars don't have a dipstick. This is an aftermarket dipstick from ECS. There's a little port right here that Audi does put in the engine for some reason. There it is. It's a little plug that they put in the dipstick port. I have no idea why. All right, let's see. Oh, that is bone dry. Here, I'll give you a closer look. This cannot be a good sign. 0 oil on there. That's always concerning. I have some mystery oils laying around the garage. I'm just gonna dump them in here. I don't know if this engine even runs. This might be completely locked up, so before I try and start it, I'm just gonna add this mystery oil. If it runs, we'll do a proper oil change. Do not do this at home if you have a good engine. Let's see if if that shows up. Okay, we got something on here now. Let's go. That's good news. It's a 40 weight oil, so at least it's the right thickness. This is good. There's oil now. It just needed a quart. Classic Audi. Earlier today I bought this battery charger, but the battery isn't charging at all. So we'll just see if we can use this jump start feature on there. Yeah, it was reading like 5 volts. All right, let's see. Start. Let's see if this thing comes alive. Look at that, people. 82,000 miles. That is so low. That is awesome. There's no way this engine's blown at 82,000 miles. I don't believe it. There's oil in it. Let's see what happens. Oh, flashing lights. Please add oil immediately. Huh. Well, we just checked that there's oil in it. Let's just try and start it. Uh-oh, that's not good. Maybe that jump pack isn't doing it. Trying a different jump pack here. Let's hope this motor's not locked up. That's on. All right, here we go. Oh, let's go. It started for a second. I think this jump pack disconnects after you do it once, so let's do it again. It actually turns over, man. Let's go. That means the engine is not seized, which is worst case scenario. So let's go again. Ooh, sounds kind of low on compression. Somebody messed with a bunch of this stuff. Like this is flopping around. If it didn't crank, that'd be frightening, but oh, I smell fuel. That's good. Oh, and it dies again. Would be great if we could get some codes out of this. I think I need a new battery for this car. We'll go from there. First, I want to see where this mystery vacuum line goes that comes off the intake here. If there's a big vacuum leak somewhere, this thing could definitely stall out. So it sounds like an easy first thing to kind of chase after. It goes into the firewall here. So I'm going to pull all this off and just see where it leads. Yeah, goes into the firewall. Anyway, I think I'll probably just remove that. Oh, snapped right off. And then I have these little vacuum caps. And I'm just gonna put one on there. Good. I have very little faith that that'll do it, but it certainly doesn't help if there's a vacuum leak. Nope, same sheet. The only other red flag that I see is this weird little box here. I just unplugged it and it looks like some kind of VGA cable. Like this is super old stuff. These pins also disintegrated on me almost. And following the wiring, it just kind of is bolted down with zip ties here. I can't really tell where it goes. This just loops into itself. And I have no idea what this is. I'm wondering if it's some kind of piggyback ECU situation. This wiring goes to here, which is again just plugged into itself. Okay, so it literally all just connected to itself? I don't understand. What is this? Cutting more of this crap out. Weirdly enough, I think that's it. That's all that there was to it. Doesn't have a name on it. And it wasn't actually plugged into anything, so can't be doing anything wrong. Let's see if we can find any more information. No. No branding. They use genuine Volkswagen connectors, so it's not a cheap thing. But what does it do? Just messing around with the loom of this aftermarket ECU thing again. And it does appear like this is some kind of MAF tuning thing. This goes into here, and this plugs into the map sensor, sorry, not MAF. So let me plug this in and see if it needs this to run for some reason. The map sensors are used to monitor intake pressure, I think, or manifold air pressure. Now I'll plug in this VGA cable from 2007. If this works, I'll be so surprised. If anyone knows what this is, please let me know. It definitely is responsible for altering the map readings in some kind of way. I just don't know how. Let's do this again. Attempt number 3 now with the weird map. Why can't I say map? Map. Dora, we have a map. Anyway, here we go. No, same thing. I'm not surprised, but and now the battery's dead again. Motherfucker. Do you have any more juice in you, little guy? I want to see what kind of battery we're working with here, since this thing doesn't seem like it's holding a charge at all. Aha! A AAA battery. These are kind of known to be terrible batteries, and it looks like it's swelling pretty badly on the sides here. Yeah, let's replace this. We would hate to see anybody change it themselves. They need to come to the Audi dealership. I don't know if you can see this on camera, but this battery is totally warped. I think AAA's batteries are just recycled batteries that they kind of refurbish. This battery is from July 2022, and I just checked, it has a 3-year warranty, which means this thing failed like clockwork right after 3 years. So now I gotta go buy a new one. Couple $100 later, here's a new battery. This one came from AutoZone, which is arguably just as bad, but I really have very little patience right now. Put a little grease on the terminals. Hopefully brake grease is fine. Which one goes first again? I can never remember. I think it's positive. Weak batteries will do crazy things to these cars, so I just want to know that this is good. Not that I actually think this is going to fix anything, but I think it should help with diagnosing. So now we have a check engine light, I think. Now what we can do is actually read the codes that we have and get some diagnostic information before I start pulling too much stuff apart. Hey, these look mean. Look at that. Whoo! All right, I'm about to read the diagnostic codes on this thing. 4, 5, and 6 misfire. Hide cylinder, camshaft position sensor, bank 2. That is not good. So we've got an issue on 4, 5, and 6, and it's probably because of the camshaft position sensor or the timing chains, which I doubt at 80,000 miles. Oh, look at that. Also, oil level is now okay. That's nice. How about the camshafts though? Let's see how hard that sensor is to change. Circuit is better than camshaft correlation codes. Circuit usually means something wrong in the wiring, in the sensor itself. If it was camshaft correlation codes, that would hint at a stretched timing chain or something more severe, but circuit is a good code to have. The camshaft position sensor is conveniently located right up top. This could be a lot worse. So I'm gonna take this connector off. Any corrosion inside? No, it looks clean. And I just want to see if this sensor has power. Perfect, we have 5 volts. I don't know if you can see that, this thing's in the way. We have 5 volts at the sensor. So that means the sensor should be getting power, and makes me feel even more confident that we can swap that out. I'm also gonna remove that weird little aftermarket box. I really don't know what it's doing, and I don't trust it. I know it's a little hard to see, but this is the sensor right here. There we go. Oh, that's not good. There's a bunch of metal shavings on it. Look at that. That is all metal. This sensor works using magnets. Maybe this sensor isn't even bad, it's just getting a faulty reading. Look at all of that metal. I bet this thing is blown up. Either way, we're still gonna put a new sensor in it. Thank God there's a second Audi out here. Let's steal that little guy right there. Yo, it knows. It's talking to me. Don't take my sensor. Oh, this one has metal on it too. We're good. Or maybe we're worse, I don't know. I'm gonna plug the S4 up with the bad one so that no dirt gets in that hole straight into the engine. What do we think? Is it better or worse that both engines have metal on the cam position sensors? I'm gonna say better, because that one's running good and this one is not. Here goes the new sensor from my S4. Plug her in. All right, first thing before we try it again is clear all the fault codes. We wanna see what comes back. Now let's give it another shot. Huh, it's even worse now. Definitely sounds like a 3-cylinder right now. All right, so the car still runs exactly the same. So let's check the codes and see if it still has a cam position sensor code. That'd be very strange. Read diagnostic trouble codes. It's definitely still the exact same misfires, yes. Huh. The exact same code. So it has power, the sensor's good. The only other thing I can think of, it thinks that there's a electrical issue because it's not getting any signal. That might be because the actual reluctor wheel isn't spinning that the camshaft is supposed to be picking up, aka something is very broken in the camshaft kind of upper engine area. So I've taken the sensor back out, as you can see, and what I'm gonna do is turn over the engine and see if that wheel in there actually spins. If that wheel down there does not spin when I turn the engine over now, I'm absolutely cooked. You guys tell me, did it spin? This was a huge, huge mistake. Huge mistake. So, that wheel did not spin, which means that this thing probably has a snapped camshaft or something insane. There's no other way. What else would that be? It has to be a snapped camshaft. Well, this thing is absolutely cooked. As you guys saw, that camshaft wheel spun very inconsistently. It should be a nice, smooth, even rotation with the engine, and that was far from it. This thing has to have a snapped camshaft or some serious damage up in the top of this engine. Not good. What we can do now is pull the valve cover and actually see what's going on. See if this is repairable, see if this is just a broken cam wheel or if the entire camshaft is indeed split into pieces. Let's pull that valve cover and find out. How the fuck are you supposed to get to that one? Oh, brother. This is insane. This is literally a rocker arm. Look at the damage in here, y'all. This is insane. You can see a bunch of rocker arms are missing. They're laying all over the place. Let's see if I can fish one out. They're so damn slippery. It's like, why do they put oil on this stuff? Here it is. This is a rocker arm. It's responsible for opening and closing valves, and it should be inside the engine on these lifters that are hydraulic. There you go. You should not be able to remove that from a motor, but here we are. This is just one of them. There are many broken rockers in here. There's another, actually just two broken rocker arms. There's one missing, that's this one. There's another one here, completely swinging around. This one's very loose. This one's very loose. This one's completely loose. So is that. This side is fine. Somehow, I bet you. Oh yeah, look at that. This whole camshaft spins freely. Just for fun, I think we should crank this car and see if that camshaft even spins at all. That camshaft did not spin at all. That was insane. I've never seen anything like that on a car. I don't know why I'm so stoked about this, but that was cool. It did shoot oil everywhere, of course, but man, oh, it's because I didn't have that lifter in there. The oil pressure was like, uh-oh. Maybe this is a broken timing chain up top. Either way, this is crazy. What do I do with this car? This is either a part out or I replace the motor. I think in good condition, this car is probably worth $12,000 to $13,000. I'm gonna have to put a lot into it though to get it back to that point. It needs a new motor probably, because I'm sure this has bent valves. And it also needs a front end rebuild basically, because it has no bumper. This is definitely the most clapped car I've ever bought. I'm not sure if this is the right decision, but I'm gonna pull this motor because I'm so curious to see what actually caused this issue. And to be honest, I've always wanted to pull one of these engines. It looks extremely complicated. You have to basically drop the entire subframe and drop the motor out the bottom. Usually people do this with a lift by lifting the chassis off the entire engine and subframe. I obviously don't have a lift, so I'm gonna have to do some finagling to make this work. Is this worth it? Probably not. But am I gonna do it? Probably. I'm an idiot and I really wanna see this thing back on the road. So I'm gonna pull this motor and we're gonna make a final decision once we get a little deeper into this. Couple cool updates as this thing is coming apart. First of all, I know now why there's a new belt on this thing. There's some spaghetti from what looks like a shredded old belt. This is a brand new supercharger belt. This is probably the old one. Another thing I found is this APR, what looks like an extra coolant reservoir. It goes directly into this aftermarket heat exchanger, which must also be from APR. Sometimes people divorce the coolant setups, but I'm not actually seeing a fill on that coolant tank anywhere. Maybe this is just some kind of coolant expansion system. If I find anything else interesting, I'll let you know, but for now I'm gonna keep tearing this thing down. These are the bolts that hold the entire core support to the front of the car, and somebody has cross-threaded them with incorrect hardware. Let's see if I can even get these out. These things are gonna snap clean off. There goes one of them. I'm guessing that's the other one. Yep. It's time for the rest of this front end to come off, and let's see if we can find some crash damage or just figure out why those bolts are not what they're supposed to be. If I did everything correctly, this should come right out. Here we go. What's still holding this up? I can't tell. Oh my God, fuck, is there another coolant hose? One more connector here. Doing a Wheelemverb durability test here. All right, yes. Whew. That was a bitch. Dare I call this thing a work of art? It looks so cool sitting here. What a beautiful design, the way it fits right between those frame rails. Every inch of space is used. Serviceability, whole other thing. That's a nightmare, but as far as this thing looks, I think it's gorgeous. Like I mentioned before, typically you'd see people lift the entire chassis off these engines, but I don't have a lift, I don't have the room for that, so the next step, I think, is to drop the subframe with all the suspension out of it, and then hopefully we can pull the motor out of the front of the car. Some good news is that these bolts that I thought were stripped out are actually aftermarket to hold up this APR coolant tank. So this is in fact not some kind of stripped, repaired frame situation. It's just some aftermarket bolts that seized in there. I gotta get this one out somehow, probably order a new one. But at least this doesn't set me back any further. I thought maybe this car was hiding some more crash damage. Thankfully, that is not the case, and we can move on to doing the suspension and dropping the subframe. Quick second here to thank Audi for some incredible engineering on this suspension design. In order to remove this bolt, you have to remove the steering rack first. That is so smart, whereas they could have just put the bolt in the other direction and there would have been so much room to pull it out, but no, they had to put it in this way so that you can't get it out. If we literally just flip the bolt, folks, this wouldn't be a problem. And I love German cars. They're just so intuitive, so simple to work on, if you will. I've been spending the last hour trying to get the stock downpipes off. The original bolts are insanely hard. Once you replace them with new hardware, pretty easy. But let me show you guys another piece of great Audi engineering here. Here we've got the downpipe, which goes all the way to the back of the car. And here is the bolts to remove them. Now you'll see that the bolts are sort of just flat recessed plugs here, and the nuts are actually on the other side facing the engine. This is a really smart design choice because it means that you just cannot get them off without some insane extensions going up through the engine bay. Same thing on the other side. There's a little more room here to kind of get at it from the side this way, except for, of course, that top one here. Good luck with that.
This will be the best way to mount the downpipes. We will put the nuts facing the engine bay. This way they cannot access the bolts.
And so because of that, this is what you need to get these downpipe bolts off. It could be so simple, Audi. The bolts could have just been flipped around once again. It's like they're doing this on purpose, but who knows? That was easily the most difficult thing I've ever done on a car, but it was very rewarding. I'm very glad I did it. And it was fun to have this opportunity on a car that's already broken to mess around with it rather than my nice S4. Now, I think I am gonna rebuild this thing. Let me know what you guys would like to see in the comments, or do you think I should scrap this thing? I'm gonna wrap up the episode here. We'll tear this thing down at the beginning of the next one and see exactly how it failed, as well as hopefully get a new motor for this thing and refresh it, upgrade it, so that this car comes out of this unfortunate situation with hopefully a lot of cool maintenance and upgrades. And after all that, I think it'll be a really cool daily. I've been kind of craving something automatic. All my cars are manual and I sit in a lot of LA traffic. So I'm gonna fix this thing up, turn it into a little race car. And if you'd like to see more of that, please hit that subscribe button down below. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.